welcome everyone. Thanks, Alex, for joining me today. I'm
Happy
excited
to be here.
to have you here and to kind of talk a little bit about what you guys are up to, what you guys are doing over at Homewise, and explain to our audience what our synergy is, and give them some value here. And so I'm excited for that.
Definitely. So what we're up to here at HomeWise is we're digitizing the mortgage industry. And we really kind of help solve this issue of not just paperwork and inefficiencies, but also just making things more transparent and a lot faster for the consumer. So there's two real huge values here that we have, one on the consumer side, which I'll touch on, and then the other on the realtor side, which will be a good segue into our relationship with Wise Agents. So on the consumer side, we help the consumer, anybody that's looking for a house, be it a first-time home buyer, getting pre-approved, to everybody all the way up to looking for an investment property, be it your third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, doesn't really matter. We have products for absolutely everybody. And when I say products, I mean we can help every type of consumer with any kind of mortgage need that they want. So that's either a pre-approval, which a lot of banks and brokers aren't really doing anymore. We do an absolute ton of them. We think it's very important for the industry, especially for realtors. To the live deals and the purchases that they actually submit to us when that they have a conditional upon financing, maybe. Although in the interior real estate market right now, it's tough to be a buyer's agent if you're not looking for a condo. So it's a pretty crazy market. All the way to refinances, renewals, and switches as well. So we have the ability for each buyer to actually get pre-approved and fill out their client profile in 5 minutes from their laptop, from their phone, from their vehicle. Hopefully they're not driving, but it's that simple to use, and we can do that exactly within about 5 minutes. So they can actually get that process done completely online. They don't need to go to the bank branch. They don't need to spend an hour on hold with somebody over the phone necessarily, with the banks and how they do things. Especially, I know the recent few months have been tough on everybody, but I think us being a primarily digital brokerage, it really kind of helps, and we've really been a tool in the belt of the consumer. So that person looking for a home can actually get pre-approved. They can get their mortgage in no time at all. They know exactly what they're getting into. For example, we really make sure that each of our clients knows exactly what they're getting involved in. For example, we're not going to sell somebody or provide somebody a mortgage for a 5-year fixed with a massive break fee if, for example, they're looking to move within 1 to 2 years, right? Unless it's a portable mortgage. But you've seen perhaps in the news lately there was I know in the I think it was one of the big banks, or it was one of the big banks that had a pretty significant break fee on their mortgage with somebody that needed to sell their home because they lost their job during COVID, and it was something to the tune of like a $30,000 to $35,000 break fee. Now, for somebody that was selling their home because they didn't have a job anymore, like that's a massive hit. So we really want to make sure that we not only put the tools in your belt to do things quickly and on your own time, but make sure they're transparent enough for you to understand exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, that's really important. That's great. And for those of you that are just joining us, welcome. And I just wanted to let you all know that we are recording this. This is a recorded webinar, as is all of our webinars. We're also going to be posting this on our YouTube page, as well as you'll all be getting the recording of this in your inbox later on today as well. So I'm excited, Alex, to have you here, because I think, right now, so I'm in the US, I'm in Arizona, where we do get a lot of Canadian snowbirds here. So one of my old neighbors, he's Canadian snowbird, and and I know this year's been even a little bit different for even that happening, right? It's been a little bit harder for snowbirds coming from Canada into the US, but I think like the US market, the Canadian market is just booming over there, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty wild as far as the real estate market. I mean, we're seeing interest rates that are so low. Like I
Yeah.
don't even know a time when they've been this low. Like, we're seeing 5-year fixed rates in the mid to high 1%, right? Like, um,
Yeah.
even just, of course, renewed recently on my own mortgage because it was so low that
Yeah.
I had to almost,
Yeah, you
right?
couldn't miss up that opportunity, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah, and I think
because
that's a lot of people have been doing. I mean, even here in the US, it's been, people that I know, it's just been it's a great opportunity to do that. So that's awesome. And you
yeah,
guys Homewise makes it so easy to get the conditional or the pre-approval of a loan, right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
want to
for
talk a little
sure.
bit about that?
Exactly. So each person can have so let's say that they're working with a realtor. The realtor needs to make sure that let's say they're looking for a $500,000 home. They need to make sure that they can, well, both sides do need to make sure that they can actually, afford that $500,000 home, or maybe it's closer to six, or maybe it's closer to four, but either way, they got to know that number. So the client can just um, simply use a link that the realtor will have, one of our realtor partners would have, in partnership with Wise Agent, and actually walk through the entire application. Again, from your phone, from their laptop, takes 5.5 minutes, the average time, but you can actually walk through all of the necessary information that we need.
Mhm.
And from then, you'll be matched with an advisor from our team that guides you through the whole process. So you're really leveraging that digital aspect without sacrificing the human touch.
Yeah.
Really important that we still have that human touch, and we always will, um, because at the end of the day, these are huge purchases, and for many people, mortgage is the biggest financial decision they'll ever make, right? So we need to make sure that they feel good about it, and if something's keeping them up at 9 p.m. on a Sunday, they can call their advisor and they'll answer the phone and walk them through, kind of provide that context and make sure they feel good about everything. So it's very much as simple as just walking through that 5-minute application and client profile to get set up with their advisor, get on the phone whenever they like. Every one of our clients gets an automatic email asking to get on the phone with their advisor directly after that application is submitted. And then we find the best mortgage from 30 different lenders. So we work with some of the big banks, from your monoline lenders, your credit unions, your B lenders, even privates. Of course, we want to keep people out of a private if we can, but they're an option and they're a tool in the belt of the consumer, and we're happy to help them with that.
And that's great because I mean, with such a, with interest rates low and the market being as hot as it is, that's a really good way of making sure that like ensuring that you are going to get to the end of the transaction and the deal will be done. And so it's really nice having that approval process and having that, because the loan is a huge part of the
Yeah,
process of a transaction. Is it going to be approved and will it go through all the way? So that's wonderful
absolutely.
that you guys have that support.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a great segue into kind of how we better work hand in glove with realtors as well. So, for example, with realtors specifically, at the end of the day, the realtor wants to know that, yes, they can afford the property or the property type, the property price point in which they're going to view.
Mhm.
So, you wouldn't necessarily want to go for showings for something that's 200K over budget.
Right.
Um, and you need to be confident, especially in the Ontario market these days. Um, it's so competitive on the buy side. You need to know that your client can afford exactly what you're going to put in a bid for, because there are crazy bidding wars still.
Yeah.
Like the market has, for anything that's not a one-bedroom condo, has absolutely been exploded.
Right.
Everything in the suburbs is going way up. Volumes are up. Average resale values way up. But I guess the point I'm making is, as a buyer agent, you and your client need to have confidence that you're going in with the right,
arsenal
you're
of
going in well
tools.
equipped.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
And if you guys are watching this live, go ahead and post either in the chat or in the Q&A any questions that you may have or an experience that you've had. Because really, I mean, this is a part where I know, as a homeowner myself too, the last time we bought a home though was about 3 years ago, and the market was definitely different back then. And so it was, you're on pins and needles as a buyer, and I'm fairly certain, even as the agent, for the buyer, you're like, is this going to happen? Is this going to work out? Is this, is this going to be, because it's such a huge part of it. It's almost as important as the appraisal coming in and all that other stuff that has to happen, and the inspection period and everything else that goes into it. You guys, I always say, like, agents are, you guys do a lot. And so I'm happy that we're here able to provide some value to you guys, and kind of walk you through maybe some things that Homewise is doing to help that process be a little bit more smoother for you
Yeah.
during that buying process.
Yeah, so I'll describe as well, like and then I'll share my screen here, but with realtors, again, we want to make sure that they're well equipped. So in doing so, again, I'll share my screen and show kind of how the sign up link works. For any Wise Agent folks that work with Wise Agent, you can actually message me directly within the Wise Agent platform, and I'll get you set up. It's very, very simple. It's just a link that I can send you back over as soon as you reach out to me. And that's Alex at thinkhomewise.com. So you can reach out to me directly within the Wise Agent platform, and I'll get you set up in literally 15 seconds. So it'll take, we ask some very high level information for you to be able to do so, and I can show you that screen.
I'm gonna share really quickly before you start. I'm gonna share. So this is in my Wise Agent account here. You want to go to your tools, marketplace, and that will open up this page here. And then from here, just click down to Homewise, click on this Learn More button, and then you'll go from here, you'll get started, and then that will be your jumping off point to chat with Alex. So
yeah, perfect.
That's the part that we were talking about there.
Yeah, exactly. Within that marketplace there, which is awesome. So once you do that, you'll have on your dashboard the ability to track all of your referrals and also stay in touch and stay in tune so that when a client of yours has actually been approved. So I'll show you a little bit about that process right now. I'll just share my screen. Bear with me.
You gotta love live demos.
Gotta love live demos.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen.
Okay, you can see me here?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'll get you set up. Once you send me that within the Wise Agent Marketplace, you send me that email, and I'll get you started with a sign up link here. Now, once you're signed up, you'll see your dashboard. So this is like a demo dashboard I just created. Of course, there's no deals on here just yet, but for yours, this is what you'll see when you initially sign up as well. You'll have your logo here, and this part is really, really interesting, and it's really important. So you'll have a couple of huge or really useful tools in your belt. One being this co-branded link. So when you send out this co-branded link, that's the link to track your clients, to make sure that when your clients get pre-approved, that we can attribute those people back to you, and so that they'll actually show up in your referral summary here. So you'll be able to see exactly in that portion there. Let's say you'll have Jane Smith from Main Street needs a mortgage of $500,000, and they applied on this date. So you'll be able to see not just Jane Smith, but John Doe, and so on and so forth. So you'll be able to see all of your clients right here in that referral summary. Now and you share that out with this link directly here. If you want a more integrated approach, which is a really, really interesting and a super useful tool. You can actually embed our entire application directly into your website with this one. So again, all of those folks that go through that process, as long as they go with this link or with this embedded widget into your website, they'll show up here as well. So in addition to your referral summary, of course, we provide some more information on here as well. But this is actually what so this is the Wise Agent landing page we have here. But for example, this is what it'll look like. So the actual application, your clients will come here so they can have a little bit more information if they're after that, and see some of the banks that we work with and a brief overview, and they can actually get the process started right here. So now that I've come into the actual pretty slick, if I do say so myself, application process, they can get started and walk through again on their own time, get their mortgage sorted. Now, when they get pre-approved, again, you'll be able to see that here in the referral in your dashboard. So you can treat your dashboard as the place you'll see all the referrals. You can also have some cool mortgage calculators here if you want to, just provide a little extra context to your clients and really kind of, again, these are tools in your belt to help you with your clients. So you can use them. You don't have to, of course, if you don't want to, but at the end of the day, if somebody gives you some questions that are mortgage related, you can leverage on the mortgage calculator, but at the end of the day, just send them that link and we can get them sorted in no time.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, obviously, so when you're building, I say this in pretty much every webinar that I talk in, is that every interaction that you have with your clients should show, I mean, it doesn't always have to revolve around real estate, but you should share some knowledge and show off your knowledge in the real estate, industry, right? Because the more knowledgeable that you look and sound and are, the more trust they have in you as being their advisor on, what house they're looking at and purchasing. You're helping them along that process. And so that's a really cool thing to be able to say, like, okay, well, here's, some financial advice as well. Being able to kind of give them a really good view of what they're going to be looking at once they purchase a property. So I think that's great. And we also have, calculators on Wise Agent as well. But I think it's great to be able to have all of those tools just at your fingertips at any time. It's just something that's really important to be on top of that and show off that knowledge that you have.
Exactly. And for Wise Agent clients that use the Wise Agent CRM, we we want to make sure your live is as easy as possible, right?
Right.
We want to give you confidence in those buying decisions.
Yeah.
Make sure that your clients get pre-approved ASAP, and that you can do that maybe before you go on a month's worth of showing, so that you know exactly what your clients are after. You want to be kept in the loop, right? You want to, as a real estate agent, a hugely important part of the relationship with a mortgage broker or with a mortgage company is knowing that the deal will close and at what price, right? So we provide you with not only this digital kind of reference point into the status of that mortgage, but also personal touch. You have me as the head of partnerships that can help you out with that, and each mortgage advisor. I'll also comment, Eleni, you mentioned it's great to have provide those for realtors to provide those clients with any financial advice as well. Definitely is, and I would make a note on there as well, and just anything that's related to the mortgage specific area. If it's probably easiest to refer that out to defer to the mortgage folks, but still, of course, provide that hand in glove or the white glove service that we provide. So yeah, absolutely happy to help with that.
Yeah. And as agents, I mean, you should be gathering, contacts for your partners, right? Your the partners that you utilize, your lenders, your appraisals, and every other kind of company that you work with and interact with during the transaction. So then you have those trusted advisors around you. And the more you trust them and show confidence, they show confidence in you and their abilities as well, then that also makes you look really well and really good to your client, because now you're saying like, hey, I'm a trusted advisor, and I'm referring you to someone that you can also trust for your lending needs and anything else. Because really, in the real estate industry, I think one of the key things is, again, it doesn't always have to be about buying or selling a home. You want them reaching out to you at any time, like, hey, I'm refinancing. Have them call you, because then you can start giving them advice like, hey, if you're thinking about refinancing and you're going to start saving some money, do you want to start putting that, maybe you should start looking at an investment property, or maybe this is a good time to sell, or whatever it is. But it gives you that additional kind of touch point to really reach out to them and have those conversations at just throughout the life cycle of not just your transaction, but of your career. And I know I still like talk to my agent, my broker all the time, asking, hey, our air conditioning went out, or whatever it is, do you have somebody for that? Or I need a landscaper, I need this, I need that. You guys should have a full tool belt of all of those vendors, so you can utilize and give that information, pass that information along to your clients. So you're opening up the doors of that kind of communication with them. So you can talk about just pretty much anything, and that will help you with more transactions, and everything else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about that being the one-stop shop, as you
Right.
will. And a part of that, I guess, to piggyback off of that point there with what we also help with, and actually to give you some insight onto what we're building as well, we can help with, if they have, we work, for example, a company called DEEDed here in Canada, which is digital legal services for a home
Mhm.
close. So,
Okay.
we can provide stuff like that, or basically, further to your point again, like
Yeah.
that all-in-one approach. Of course, we are a mortgage company and we can help with that financing, no matter the case, and really provide and make sure that each realtor is well equipped, and has a very clear view into the capability of their client. So we can absolutely do both.
That's awesome. Yeah, and definitely, leverage all the resources that you can.
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, if there's, if one of your partners is saying like, hey, I've got some like digital legal stuff that you can leverage for your clients or whatever it is, leverage that. It just will make you look so much better, because you're going to be the person that you become your client's go-to person for pretty much all advice. And that's really a huge key in building that relationship. So then you can further your relationship with them, and both just your clients and your vendors, because then once they get some kind of referral, they might be able to refer it out to you. So really, it's just all about relationship and building that and making sure that you're staying on top of it. That's
Absolutely.
great. That's great, Alex. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to post any questions in the Q&A, or post in the chat. We're happy to answer any questions that you might have. I know one of the questions is, with you guys being a digital mortgage company, are all of your clients, are most of them predominantly millennials?
It's interesting. It's a good question. So for us, one would think that maybe the bulk would be, and I think it's really important for us to mention, like, especially since the last 8-9 months,
Mhm.
since we've been in this COVID situation, and a lot of people have really been forced into digitization. For us, we can help every part of the spectrum. Like, our average age is probably mid 30s for the people that go through, but like we helped the gentleman who's 64 years old the other day with getting a mortgage, and that's becoming more and more common. So especially, again, since March or whatever, whenever this
Right.
started. It feels like 4 years ago. Um, but it's
Yes.
happening more and more, which is great because it just goes to show that this isn't just kind of a cool, like kind of, millennial
The tech,
tool.
tech
It's
tool.
yeah, this is the future of how business will be done, and
Yeah.
uh, we can see that with some of maybe some people that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be coming in the door with a digital first tool to be doing that, and it's becoming the norm, which is really exciting to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. And I know, I love technology. We love technology, and but there's also, that human side of things, and as a technology company, here, we totally believe in being all in with it, but then also having that human touch. And that's why we offer that 24/7 support that we have, where you're wanting to just reach out to somebody and say, I just need help. Can someone call me? Or if you want to be the one initiating that phone call, we have our phone number provided to you, so you could reach out to us at any time. We have someone waiting and available to assist you at anything. And I think that's a great way of doing things, where you marry kind of both the technology and that human touch of everything, just so then you have a really more smoother transaction and transition and everything that you do. So that's fantastic. Any final thoughts, Alex, before we
Yeah,
wrap up? Yeah,
I guess I'll give one, I guess, a sneak peek
yeah,
into another thing that we have coming down the funnel, or the
yeah.
tech development pipeline is, I think it's going to be an absolute game changer for consumers, but something called mortgage match. So essentially, from the information that you provide in that 5-minute pre-approval client application, once that is submitted, we can actually match you or match the consumer with 3 different mortgage options immediately using machine learning. So we can actually, based on the information that again you've provided, we just give you the 3 best options for that person, tailored to that person, and still have that human connection so that we can guide the person through that process and identify from there which might be a fit, which might not be a fit, and which one's going to be perfect.
Right.
So that's something that we're in a beta stage right now with development, but it's going to be very, very exciting, and it's going to help people get their mortgages even faster and even
Yeah.
more transparent. So we keep an eye out for that, but we have more of that coming down the pipeline. It's very exciting.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. I love hearing that. So I just wanted to again thank you, Alex, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This was recorded, and we will be posting this on our YouTube channel. We'll also be sending this out to you in an email. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can send me an email at info@wiseagent.com. You can reach out to myself or my team. And again, if you ever need any support, you can also do that by emailing help@wiseagent.com. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us. Alex, thanks for being on today.
Of
It's
course.
great chatting with you.
Thanks for
Happy
having me. It's
holidays.
great catching up.
Yes,
Yeah, you as
thank
well.
you. Happy holidays to all, and I'll see you all next week.